Aloha one, aloha all. Michael, your friendly neighborhood philosopher, ready to get down to the business of simply observing. All right, guys, so today what I wanted to talk about was more in line with physics and observation. So some of you have read a lot of my writings and you have seen that my understanding of physics is what it is. So what I like to do is start with the idea of the double slit experiment and know that everything that we observe, we affect. And it's that simple. So if you understand that and you can take away from the experience itself something new, then what you're doing is you're learning. Whenever you learn something new, what you're actually doing is you're altering the results of the experiment. And that's it. It's so simple. So the double slit experiment has to do with one's ability to observe a light beam, if you like, and watch it go through two slits. Okay? So if you understand that as it passes through the two slits, what you're really doing is you're altering the effects of the experiment, what you can process is that the next stage of the experiment, where the light beams or photons, whatever you want to call them, are not acting as particles, they're acting as a wave. Now, how do we know that? Well, we know that because the other side of the barrier that has the two slits, if the light is behaving as particles, then what we can say is that the particles are going to reproduce the two slits. Now, the reproduction of the two slits is not going to be perfect. But when we see what we are viewing and we can make the determination that the observation itself is what it is, and we see the wave interference patterns, then we are in the realm of quantum mechanics where, again, the observation alters the experiment. Now, with all of that being said, if you can view the reality of your experience and you can tell yourself, hey, you know what? Okay, great. The light beams that are traveling through the two slits and are being represented on the other side, the final barrier, as it were, if we know that those are actually behaving as waves of light, what we can say is that the waves of light are being very, how should I say, mysterious. Okay? Now, wave-particle duality exists in everything. Everything. If you're viewing something and you're observing only a small portion of the visible light, which is 0.0035% of the entire electromagnetic spectrum, then you can tell yourself, hey, you know what? I am actually making that happen, whatever that might be. Once you know what that is and you can resonate with it and it makes sense to you, then and only then will you be able to determine that what you are observing is the wave particle duality in the relationship that you are making it happen. So the more that you can observe something, this is going to sound funny, the less that you can see, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. If you turn on a camera that can detect light, and you set that camera in between the point of transmission, let's say I am the point of transmission and I'm transmitting the light, and the camera is in between the first barrier that has the two slits and the point of transmission. As soon as I turn the camera on, what happens to the light is even more mysterious, because what you think is going to happen is that the light will continue to be viewed, or observed, I should say, as wave interference patterns. The second you turn on the light, or I should say, the second you turn on the camera that detects the light, what you will see is two slits. Now, this may all sound truly mind-boggling, and it is, because the observer effect is very, very real. Now, we can talk about quantum mechanics, we can talk about the observer effect, we can talk about wave-particle duality, we can talk about all of these things, but what we're really doing is we're extrapolating information from the observations themselves. So, going back to what we were discussing earlier, is that the observation alters the effect of the experiment every single time. Now, the last thing to consider is that everything in the universe is sentient. Everything in the universe knows how to exist, and it knows how to be. Now, there are two basic types of, I'm just going to say, matter. There's organic and there's inorganic. Now, within the realm of inorganic, you have synthetic, and within the realm of organic, you also have what we can consider to be God consciousness. There, I said it. Now, everything in the universe is sentient because there's an exchange of information between what a being knows, which is its consciousness, and how it feels about what it knows, which is its awareness. So the sentience is sort of a mysterious aspect in which everything is connected, everything is one, everything is already here right now. With that being said, only human beings are sapient. Only human beings can know their consciousness and can be aware of their sentience, can know everything and anything that they wish to know, as long as they pay attention while making their observations. So, everything that I've been talking about is all connected. So a human being can be aware of its consciousness and can be conscious of its awareness and can basically know its own sentience. If you are aware of your own sentience, then you are sapient. All right, guys. I'm going to leave you with that because that's a lot to digest and a lot to unravel. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I know that God is watching as we speak. God knows who you are. God knows what you are. And all that you have to do is accept everything and know that God loves you very, very much. All right, guys. I love you too. And I know that all is well and everything is going to be A-okay. All right. Ciao for now.